daily drive-by. The view is different. Let me lower this so you guys can see this beautiful face. The view is different, the scenery is different, and that's because I'm out here in the great state of Florida, where it's fucking cold as shit, but not as cold as it is probably where you are. So, I'll take that back. A lot of driving on my hands this week, a lot of movement. 2025 is off to a fast start. Let me tell you, the new year happens in Columbus, Ohio. We get back. First week of work, first week of new programming, first week of DTI 50, first week DTI 50 clients, first week of just a lot of things going on. And then, what you guys didn't know is I was planning something in the background. Went to Charleston, came home the next morning, went to Denver, Colorado, got engaged. What a magical weekend that was. Got back on Sunday night at 12 o'clock. Got to the airport on Monday morning at 5 o'clock. And we've been on the road, baby, because the grind doesn't stop. But I'm realizing things, and I'm talking to you guys as I'm driving. These daily drive-bys are snippets of this fucking peanut brain and the thoughts that go on through it as I'm driving. For those of you that are new, I thought would get edited, but no, this is a free space where we come, we bullshit, we think, and we talk. Well, I guess I do all that, but hopefully it gets you guys thinking differently as well. So the main thing is, like, all these thoughts going on in my brain, portray them, get them out into the universe, let you guys hear about them. Maybe something clicks that week, maybe it doesn't. But these are just a single take run through. There's no preparation. There is no fucking editing. There is no nothing other than clipping the beginning and clipping the end, so that way you guys don't see me picking my nose or something as I hit the play, record, stop button, whatever it is. And so as all this stuff is going on in life, it's just like, I feel like I grew up overnight. It's so wild. I wrote about this in my newsletter this week, and I just feel like I grew up overnight after I got engaged. And I just started viewing things different, and I started looking at things differently, and I started to just process things differently in life. When it comes to traveling for work, it's not just me that I got to think about anymore. When I don't want to work out in the morning, it's not just me I got to think about. If I'm not showing up for myself, then how can I show up for somebody else? If I don't feel like doing this, it's not just for me anymore. Like, it takes things to a different level, and it's one of the coolest feelings that I felt in a very long time, because, again, I didn't think things would change. We live together, we live together, we live together, we do life together, but, like, there's something about it that is so special that I just can't articulate, other than saying, like, I just feel like I grew up and I see this different outlook of the way that life operates now, the way that life works. And it makes me very excited to just continue to move forward, because one thing that I wanted to talk about is tying that to consistency. And so, as I just told you guys, the start of the year has come. We're almost to the end of the first month, and I haven't been home for longer than a week since the year started. I'm working, I'm training for a half Ironman, I'm trying to be a good significant other, I'm trying to be a good friend, a good family member, trying to be a good employee, trying to be a good business owner. There's a lot of moving parts that are going on inside of each one of those different things. But one thing I preach and one thing I practice, some of you will roll your eyes and you know where this is going, but having habits in your lifestyle so that way you can continue to build and grow. Over the last couple weeks, we've seen this theme of me talking about the pillars in life and working on those so that way they can keep growing. You can keep building on those. I just did my quarter business review for my 9-to-5 job, and it talks about, like priorities this year on how are you going to do good in your territory, how are you going to grow at all these things. And in my presentation I gave, I said, look, these are my pillars this year for work. These are what I am going to do in order to see the growth that you guys are expecting from me within this territory that I own, that I'm taking over, that I have control of, and that I have to make sure produces to their standards, but to my standards above that. Because in sales, who just wants to hit fucking budget or quota? Nobody. You go above and beyond so that way you can make that cheddar, baby, and live a good life. And so to me, it's like, how can I tie this to my real life? And so one of my pillars was personal and professional growth. What I said is I said that, I put this as my last pillar because if I'm not showing up for myself personally, meaning my habits that I have every single day, wake up early, go to the gym, journal, work on DTI stuff, eat a good breakfast, shower, go for a walk some mornings, like whatever those morning things are, if I'm not doing that personally, there is no way that I'm going to be able to do that professionally either. Because again, it ties back to what I just said about how I view life now. If I'm not showing up for myself, then how can I show up for Lauren? If I'm not showing up for myself, then how can I show up for my family, my friends, the things that I truly care about? And so my last priority that I'm doing this year for work is personal and professional growth. That doesn't mean how can I get the next promotion? No, it means I need to make sure I'm doing on the personal side what I also am doing on the professional side. So that way when I leave work, that way when I'm not working, because I travel so damn much, that I can make sure that work stays in this fucking car, or it stays in the state or the city that I'm in. But as soon as I come home and that door shuts, now it's time that my brain switches. Personal time. And so my mom did a really good job of this growing up. No matter how stressful life was on her personal or professional side, she never took the personal to work. She never took the professional home. When that door closed and she walked out of that office, everything stayed in that office. When she walked out of the house and into the office when things were going hard or things weren't going right, whatever it is, that stuff stayed at home. And I think that I know that there's such a healthy balance in that, because if you continue to let these things roll over into the different lives that you're living, into the different things that you're living, soon you're going to go and see your friends, and then you're going to start bitching about that as well. And not only is your significant other upset because all you do is complain about work and how stressful it is and this and that, but next thing you know, your friends are going to say that you're complaining about it, and your family's going to say that you're complaining about it, and next thing you know, everybody's going to get fed up with you. And at the end of the day, it makes me think, like, what truly is important to you? Like, what are you truly valuing? What are you truly seeing? What are you truly wanting from life? Because if you can't have common grounds, if you can't have pillars in each one of those buckets to make sure that life isn't always a stress ball, that life isn't always something so hectic and chaotic, and I just can't, if you can't get control, how do you expect to progress? How do you expect to move forward? How do you expect to achieve anything you want to if up here is always just a fucking tornado of stuff going on? And so I want you to think about that, because as you start thinking about this and hopefully something's hitting you or resonating and you're like, damn, maybe I can take something away, start thinking about it. Do you take time to just sit in silence when you're in a car? I can't tell you guys how many times I get in this car and I have a 3-hour drive, and there's sometimes I don't turn on any fucking radio. And I just sit here and I visualize. I sit here and I think. I sit here and I don't do anything. I don't want nothing going on in my brain. Because we live in a world that there's always noise, there's always commotion, there's always something. We walk out of our house, we pick up the phone. We shut the phone off, we put in our headphones. We take our headphones out, we get in the car, we turn the radio on. There's nothing on the radio, so we turn a podcast on. And then we get to work and we're on the phones, but in between phones, we're watching YouTube. And then we get home and we turn on the TV, but then we turn on TikTok, we start scrolling. And then we go to bed and we got a noisemaker in there. And then we wake up and we go to the gym, we put our headphones on, and the pattern goes over and over and over again. And some people do this because they want to get away from their thoughts. They can't stand the thoughts that they have going on in their head. There's other people that it escapes them from the reality they live, and they use it as a calming mechanism. There's other people that do it just because, like, hey, I have nothing else to do, so I'll just throw this on. But I want to challenge you to start trying to create more silence, more relaxation, more Zen-esque things in your life. So that way all these things aren't bleeding into each other. Imagine after a stressful day at work and you got a 20-minute drive home. Instead of turning on the radio, listening to rap music where they're fucking bitches and getting money, or you turn on, a toxic fucking podcast episode. Imagine if you just sit there. Guess what? The traffic jam might come. Let the fucking traffic jam come. Because there's two things with a traffic jam. One of it is usually somebody on the other side isn't as fortunate enough to still be here like you are. That's typically the reason for a traffic jam. Is there's an accident so bad on the other side of that somebody might be losing their lives. And guess what? Your life is really good because you're not in that situation. Another reason for a traffic jam could be because there's construction. Be happy the roads are getting improved. And so, again, you leave work like, oh, fucking frazzled this meeting, and fucking Daryl, God, I fucking hate Daryl, and fucking Christy, that stupid bitch. And then you get in the car and it's like, fucking traffic. God, I can't stand traffic. Fuck this life. Fuck you too, buddy. And then you get home and your wife's like, how's the day? Fucking suck. And then guess what? Now she's pissed off because you're pissed off. And then you just jump on your phone. So again, this is all real life shit. Next time you get in the car, just fucking go with it. Let your mind ease. If you don't drive to work, fucking put some meditation stuff on in the morning. Oh, I don't know how to meditate. I don't know where to go for this. I don't know where this accent's coming from. But I don't know where to do all this stuff. It's as simple as typing in on YouTube, meditation. Okay, maybe you don't want to meditate yet. Journal. Get thoughts out of your mind. Go downstairs. Fucking step outside. Get some of God's medicine. Breathe in the fresh air. See the sunlight. See the stars, the moon if the sun's not out yet. Whatever it is, try and pull yourself away from always running on nitric oxide or nitrogen, whatever the hell it is, where it's just like, go all the time. Pull yourself back so that way you can relax. Because all this tornado of stuff, all of this, how do we say it? All of this commotion that's going on and how fast-paced this world is. We need to find areas and ways to pull ourselves away and ground ourselves. And so when I brought up staying consistent in the beginning of this, staying consistent is not staying in this consistent pattern of chaos and just fueled lifestyle and blending lives together. Consistency is finding that way that you can start your day on the right foot. Consistency is finding that way where you can get a little bit of movement in here and there. Consistency is finding that way where, you meditate or journal to get away from everything else that's going on in this world and in your mind. Consistency is calling and checking in on those people that you love and care about. Consistency is making an effort towards something. So when you're consistent with something, just make sure that it's consistent in the right atmosphere, the right things. Consistency shouldn't be, yep, I go out every weekend and I get drinks. Consistency shouldn't be, yep, I'm not saving for my future so that way things are easier. Consistency shouldn't be, yep, I'm going to eat junk food every day of the week because I don't have time to cook. Consistency should be you showing up for yourself in different avenues. And the way to build consistency and the way to view things differently and the way to actually see change in life is through habits and instilling those in your day-to-day lifestyle. So you know what? Instead of eating out 7 days a week, I'm going to build a habit and I'm going to eat out 6 days a week and I'm going to cook 1 day out of the week. And then that habit, you start seeing results and you're like, you know what? I'm going to start eating at home 3 days out of the week instead of 7. And again, that number slowly drops where now you're eating out 1-2 times a week to go and enjoy a dinner with your spouse, your relatives, your whoever, your friends, and you're cooking at home the rest of it. And ultimately, what's that going to do? It's going to start making you feel better, have more energy, because you know what's going into those meals that you're cooking. You're not getting all this shit that these restaurants and stuff are putting it in. And I'm not saying there's not healthy options out there. There is. But cooking at home, you'll start to get a different type of energy. Next thing you know, you're sleeping better. Next thing you know, your mindset's doing better. Next thing you know, you want to start incorporating journaling in. So now you're eating better because you're cooking at home more. And now you start journaling to get thoughts out of your mind. And then all of a sudden that sparks like, man, I'm starting to feel good. Maybe I'll go outside and get a walk in. So now you're eating at home more. You're journaling, getting those thoughts off. Now you're walking, which you're exuding energy. And you're soaking in the good things in life, the fresh air, the sun. Maybe you go on a walk with your spouse. Now you guys have good conversations. And you keep doing that. And now one walk a week turns into 3, turns into 4. Next thing you know, you start seeing weight loss. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't even changed anything. Because you've instilled small habits into your lifestyle. You're not taking your lifestyle and trying to change it from, the 7-day-a-week habits and patterns to a completely different 7-day-a-week habits and pattern. You guys see what I'm saying? Is that when you start focusing on things in little increments, they build and they grow over time. So start taking that approach. Don't take this approach that the world makes us think like you have to go balls to the wall this way or that way, where it's extreme left or extreme right. We look at all those extremes in fucking politics. We look at all those extremes in fucking views that friends have. We look at all those extremes in social media. Like, the extremes never work out. How can you balance in the middle? How can you get that teeter-totter instead of going like this all the time to kind of just mellow out and hang? The best thing that I ever tell my clients is, like, instead of these big peaks and valleys that we fucking take on in life, where we're super ambitious one day to start working out and being more and doing more, and then falling back into that same routine of not working out at all, not doing anything. And then, I'm motivated again, so I'm going to start eating good and working out. And again, it's up and down. How do you take those big tsunami waves and just turn them into like a river and watch it flow? So I hope that this kind of opens your mind of just like taking a step back almost in life. Not a step back as in like losing progress and stuff, but a step back to make sure that what you're doing and how you're living is based off of like foundational pillars that you've instilled in your lifestyle. And those foundational pillars, so people know, are not the things that you're good at. The foundational pillars are the things that are important to you. Faith, family, fitness, DTI are my 4 pillars. My faith can be improved, and guess what? I'm working on it. My family aspect can be improved. Guess what? I'm working on it. My fitness can be improved, but I'm working on it. DTI can be improved, but I'm working on it. And so that's what goes back to the first daily drive-by of this year, is when we're talking about New Year's resolutions and our vision boards and our fucking new year, new me. That shouldn't have to happen. Year over year over year over year. I know you guys can probably see it. There's some people that have already fucking failed at that vision board. The new year, new me. Oh, I've done so good. Let me cheat here. Oh, I've done so good. Let me relax over here. Oh, fuck, I missed a day. I'm going to give up. When you have foundational pillars set, when you have foundational pillars as the key focus of your life, you will then be able to build and grow on those. So that way, every year that comes is just an extension of the previous one, except fucking better. Because you're working towards it, you're growing. And remember what I just said, you're working towards it and growing. All this can sound great, but if you're not putting action in behind any of it, then it doesn't fucking matter. And you're just spewing bullshit out to make yourself feel better. So take a second to really soak in this episode. This might be one of my most favorite ones in a while, and I hope that you guys took something away and see what I'm trying to articulate and tell you guys, because life is great. Life is magical, and I've been at the lowest of low for myself personally. Like, I know what rock bottom feels like for my life. I don't ever want to get back there. But I also understand that there's people that have never experienced that, and I don't ever want them to get there. And the main thing that I know and I realize is that there's people there right now that are just so lost that they don't know where the fuck to start. And so I hope that no matter where you are on this spectrum, no matter what you're taking away from this, it something clicks where it's like, you know what? I do go home and bitch about work a little more than I should. I go home and I don't ask my significant other or my kids how their day was enough. You know, when I go home, we don't eat dinner around the kitchen table. We're sitting in front of a TV. We got our phones out. Let's go back to the old school roots. Sit around a dinner table, turn the phones off, have conversations, check in on each other. Man, I haven't called that person in a while. You know what? Instead of turning on that podcast today, instead of turning on that music today in the car on my way home from work, you know, let me call Aunt Debbie and see how she's doing. Let me call Aunt Susie and see how she's doing. Let me call my friend I haven't talked to in a while because we got in an argument over something fucking stupid months or years ago. And now you're driving through traffic, and guess what? There ain't a damn thing that matters. Because you're focusing on something that's important to you now. You're focusing on something that's better energy than just getting fed up with traffic and listening to shit music. So whatever stage you're at, wherever you are in life, I hope that it's going great. Even if it's not, know that it can be great as long as you're putting action in. Don't stay stagnant. Don't let yourself pull yourself down even more. Challenge yourself, motivate yourself, push yourself to be better and better day in and day out. Y'all, fucking love you. Thank you for watching these. Most people would be like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. If this resonates with you, I know you're already going to be doing that. And if it doesn't resonate with you, then I know you ain't going to be doing that. So either way, it's either we here or we there, baby. But one thing that's important is we're staying consistent. I don't think I've missed a daily drive-by since I said I wasn't going to miss another daily drive-by. Only the one over the holiday, but that was planned. So go out there, kick some fucking ass, enjoy this life, enjoy this world. Be grateful for the things that you have and the things that you're working towards. Appreciate the hard just like you appreciate the good. Appreciate the down days just as much as you appreciate the up days. Realize that each one of those things are teaching you a lesson to get better, to do better, and to be more. Much love from your boy. Always have the desire to inspire. It's on.